He's part of a whole generation. You remember the crazy hair? And the dope? Now it's fags in the military.
Stop it, Junior. You're making me very upset.
I don't like to, Olivia, but I'm all agita all the time.
So this is Louis, and for right now, I'm going to be doing a follow-up on my previous video, where I talked about the issue of tampon and women's hygiene product dispensers that are free in the public setting. Not in a private restaurant or a private business, but in public, which you stock them, you build them, and put them in, and install them at taxpayer expense. And that they are specifically free. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, go watch my previous video, and go watch this video on Short Fat Otaku's channel to understand the context of where we are. So those two videos are pretty much necessary to understand this video. I had a conversation with Dev in Discord about this, because to me, it's very clear that on this particular topic, him, especially him, and Lilith are wrong. Now, I need to talk to Lilith to understand exactly what her position is, because I think that in the case there's an issue of ignorance here, and I demonstrated this in the conversation that I had with Dev, Short Fat Otaku. I talked to him on Discord, and we went back and forth, and he kept adjusting his premise. He kept adjusting his excuse for why he's right and why I'm wrong. And when I gave him a pertinent and accurate analogy, he took that and basically threw it away and made a comparison that was not analogous. Also, as well, made several disingenuous arguments and points. And I'm saying disingenuous. I'm saying that you cross the line of making an argument that's erroneous to one that is specifically disingenuous that you don't believe. I don't appreciate that, and that's why I said to him after we went back and forth for like 45 minutes, if we're going to talk about this, we're going to do it live, because then we're going to let the audience see what you have to say and how they respond. Because I think they're going to come out on my end in this way, because I don't think this is fair. And that is, in my view, the entire underlining principle that you're unwilling to address about this, is that it's fair. My view is you should not be paying for a woman's hygiene products. She should, or her husband should, her boyfriend should, her father should. If she's going to be irresponsible, let her father pay for it, let her boyfriend, let her husband pay for it. I should not be paying for her because I'm not getting my dick wet. That's the problem. She's a fucking stranger to me. Why am I paying for her life? And what I called you out on, which you never addressed, was what is the limiting principle to that end? If we are going to unite, tip our fedoras, where we're going to give women special treatment, what is the limiting principle? You couldn't in any way explain it outside of public health. And I said, well, what does that include? Facial soap, shampoo? Like, where does it end? And you said, yes, shampoo should be free. Facial soap should be free. Deodorant should be free. Everything that is conceivable within the window of public health should be fucking free. And I'm sorry, Dev, but I can't imagine a lot of people are going to agree with you. Even the people that want free healthcare, free dental, free healthcare, going to a doctor, I guarantee you even some of them are going to say that is way too far in terms of Gibbs. Because the fact is that if everything's free, what person in their right mind is going to pay for any of it? So the direct result of that is going to be the prices of all those things, toothpaste, mouthwash, shampoo, women's hygiene products skyrocketing. Because that's what happens in every instance when the government, in effect, nationalizes an industry or nationalizes something that has to do with the public, a good of some kind, a product or service. If the state nationalizes it, the costs explode. And that's even to the degree that we can even agree that that is even what you're going to call for. Because I imagine that you're going to take issue with this and you're going to slip and slide around it. Even though on Discord, you agreed to that end. You said you'd be willing to basically nationalize all these different products in that the government would provide you them for free for some reason. It doesn't make any sense to me, because if you're in a bathroom, there are certain things that you need, especially if you're an employee. Soap, a sink, is necessary because you have to wash your hands. That's state law. It might be even federal law for all I know. That if you're an employee working, you must be able to wash your hands. So if you have, by law, a mandate that everyone must wash their hands, regardless of who they are, if they're an employee, then you must provide them soap and water. You must provide them soap and a sink in order to do that, in order to be in compliance with the law. The issue isn't, oh, well, that's the public health. It's, one, that's the law, but more importantly, two, it's fair. That's the entire issue for me about this, is fairness. We all pay for soap. We all use soap. Some of us need soap if we're an employee. You can say, as a deflection, that, well, not everyone washes their hands in a bathroom. Well, no, everyone, if they're an employee, has to. And everyone really should. But even in the case that not everyone washes their hands in a bathroom, the fact remains that at least it's fair. If it is going to be a gib, at least it's fair. That is the point that I'm making here. That is my problem with this, is that it's not fair. It is a man paying for a woman's hygiene products because she's irresponsible. This is something she should be buying for herself, but I'm paying for it simply because she's a woman. And of course, we have to give women what they want. Because say whatever you want to, that to me is the problem here. That is the reasoning behind it all. Because the more I look into this, the more I look, that is the justification that all the politicians use, everyone involved, the activists, everyone. It's not about fairness. It's not about public health. It's not about anything more than women being affected. Therefore, I need to cough up more of my money to pay for it. And I'm sitting here telling you that so long as I'm not getting my dick sucked, I'm not getting laid, I have a problem with it because I'm her boyfriend. I'm paying for her, but I'm not getting sex out of it. We're not actually in a relationship. That's not fair. It's not fair for me to be paying for someone else's shit if we are not in some kind of relationship where it's not voluntary. Voluntary. That's the issue here. Fairness. That's the issue here. This is not fair. No matter how much spin, deflection, and bullshit dev that you want to put on this, you are wrong. You have no limiting principle for when this should end, why this should stop. You claim that this is part of the general welfare. No, it isn't. This isn't a common good. I'm paying for it. She's using it. That's not fair. That's not the common good. That's not general welfare. That is factually inaccurate and false. Soap, everyone can use. Shampoo, everyone can use. Even if we're going to go as far as giving out everything for free, even razors and whatnot, everyone can use those things. But when it comes to the specifics of women's hygiene products, that is a good explicitly and exclusively for one party. Why should I be paying for it? All you can do is appeal to the greater good, not the common good. The greater good. And fuck off. Fuck off with the logic of basically of socialism. You know, I mocked you for it to begin with, but I'm not kidding when I said that what you're seeing is socialistic. It is. Because you're not appealing to something that is ultimately something that the state should provide in a fair manner, where it is addressing public infrastructure, such as the analogy I made to you, which you totally twisted around and made a disingenuous argument. There's public roads, which everyone uses and everyone needs. Everyone benefits by. Even if you ride a bike, you ride a bus, you're using the roads. Even if you're walking, you use the roads. So it's something that everyone benefits by equally. It's fair. If a plow plows the roads and salts the roads because of a snowstorm, there's currently a snowstorm going on where I live, that's fair. It's something that's necessary. I can't get around. Whether I'm going out to buy something, I'm going to my job, or what have you, I'm going to my parents' house, I can't get there unless the streets are plowed. It would be very difficult to get anywhere without the streets being plowed, especially now that there's a snowstorm. That is something that is necessary and is a common good. Maybe it can be made more effective or efficient through, a private company doing it better for less. Maybe there's that. But the issue is that even in the case that it is involuntary, it's fair. It's a common good that we all benefit from, and it is necessary. What you're saying, in my analogy, is you're saying because a woman's affected, we need to plow the driveway of her house. We need to salt her driveway. We need to shovel off her sidewalk. We need to salt her sidewalk. Why? Well, obviously that's part of the common good, right? No. Incorrect. That is to her and only her direct benefit. And if we are going to fucking do that, then why the fuck isn't my driveway and sidewalk being plowed and salted? And is that really a real necessary use of public funds? Is it really? When my ass could be out there plowing my own driveway, salting my own driveway? Why is it the responsibility of everyone to salt and plow my driveway? Why? It shouldn't be, and it isn't, thankfully. It's my responsibility. You know why? It's my fucking driveway. It's my property. It's my responsibility. If it's not plowed, even if the homeowner's a woman, it shouldn't matter. Just because a woman is being imposed upon, it's still her responsibility. And that is the thing that it's one of the several reasons to take issue with this. So much of this is based around the issue of, and you can say whatever you want to me, Dev, about my opinion on this. You try to twist this in a few different ways. It didn't work for you. You can claim that I'm a sexist or whatever. Water for a duck's ass. I don't care. That's not my argument. I'm not saying I hate women, therefore. The issue is, this is unfair and it is not necessary. You need to explain to me why we should be shoveling the driveways and the sidewalks of women when it should be them or their husbands, their sons, their boyfriends, or their fathers. It's that simple. If someone's going to take responsibility for a woman, if someone's going to help a woman, assist a woman, let it be her boyfriend. Let it be her husband. Let it be her son. Let it be her father. Why must it be me? Why? It's not fair. And it's something I don't benefit by. I'm just paying into it. It is not necessary, and it is not the common good. It isn't. It's something that only one party benefits by, and it's unnecessarily so. This should be something that is the responsibility of that woman. Period. That's it. And if you disagree, you have to come up with a better argument than, well, it's for the public health. What does that even mean? The public health, such as healthcare and dental? Well, I don't pay for that for anybody but myself and everyone else that's part of the pool of my insurance company. And hell, I don't even pay in it other than deductibles through my paycheck. It's my company that's also paying into that through whatever healthcare provider they chose. And it's all voluntary. I can opt out of it. I can opt out of my healthcare coverage and dental coverage, vision coverage, everything. 401k, I can opt out. It's all 100% voluntary. It's not the same. And that is fair. You can choose. You have the choice. That's fair. And that's my preferred method. I think that should be the model of being in a liberal society, is you have the choice. And if you don't have the choice, if it is involuntary, it must be absolutely necessary. Border control, necessary. Police, absolutely necessary. The fire department in New York City, it's public. It's taxpayer funded, and it's terrible. Gavin McInnes, who lives in New York City or lives in New York City or Long Island, he's talked about the New York City Fire Department, whatever it is, NYFD. It's insanely full of bloat. It's insanely costly. And it's not very efficient, but it is thankfully effective enough that it can save people. And so to that end, I have to give it some concern because it's at least saving lives. But the problem is many fire departments, especially in upstate New York, many are entirely voluntary, where they're getting basically nothing from the state. They're getting some a little bit here and there, but it's not a lot. A lot of firefighters are just voluntary. And, I'm fine with giving them something because we need effective firefighters. We need people out there saving lives. But even with that, it's the question of what is necessary, absolutely, and what isn't. And straight up, this is not necessary. This is a gib. This is a ridiculous entitlement. And it is just another moment of women most affected. Say what you want, that is what this is. The only exception that I'd be willing to grant you, and it may even contradict my overall point, is public pensions. Because are those really necessary? No. I have a 401k. I don't need a public pension. I don't need Social Security. But do my parents? Yes. My parents need it. They have savings. My mom has a 401k. My father has a pension. But could they survive off of that and that alone? I'm not sure. I'd have to ask them, and they can talk to their accountant and figure it out. But that itself can be considered necessary. And it is fair. But me paying for products that are exclusive to women, that's not fair. It's not necessary. And it is just a gib. It is something that is justified because, well, it's a woman, and she's just entitled to it. I mean, literally, to me, that is it. That is the entire basis in which that this is justified. Because if I look at the politicians, if I look at New York State, if I look around at all these laws, that's just the nature of what exists now. The tax credits, the subsidies, and just everything. It's just women most affected, therefore. That is the basis in which it's justified. Fuck fairness. Fuck whether it's necessary or not. A woman is involved, therefore I need to open my fucking wallet. And if you value fairness, which I do, I think that should be one of the cornerstones of our laws, fairness, then you should consider this. You shouldn't be, arguing with me on Discord and making completely disingenuous arguments, which you were at several instances. I'm sorry that I can't display the entire fucking thing here for everyone to see. But if we do this live, I think you, in the end, are going to look like the jerk. I don't think it's going to be me, because what you did there was not genuine. These are not honest arguments. This is like the 5 rules of fucking dodgeball.
Just remember the 5 Ds of dodgeball. Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
You have to address my points. And I think what you are afraid to do is concede that this isn't fair. That this isn't a common good and it's not necessary. But hey, fuck women and them having personal responsibility. I need to step up, apparently. Regardless of whether I'm the boyfriend or the father or anything involved with her. I'm a total fucking stranger. I need to pay for her shit. It, to me, is one of those things where it's a problem in American society. And the reason it's a problem, including with you, is there's no limiting principle. There's nothing to say when it should stop. When? Like, what is it? What is the principle? What is it? Because it's obviously not fairness or necessity. So then what the fuck is it? What is to stop you from having me be the personal pay pig of just every woman in America? I asked my followers on Twitter, and one of them was kind enough to give me this Wojak of Michael Douglas in Falling Down. That the Wojak is the late 20s, early 30s something wage slave that is just paying for every fucking parasite's entitlements. Every fucking deadbeat's gibs. And this is me. That is me. I am the wage slave that works 60 hours a week, if not more, some weeks. It's been light lately, so I've only been working like 50-hour weeks. I'm paying for everyone else's shit and getting nothing in fucking return. At the least. At the least. If I'm going to pay for every aspect of a woman's life, can I at least get laid in the process? Can I at least have a woman's love in exchange? That's the price I asked, or the exchange that I ask. I get a woman's love, and I don't mean just in the physical sense. I get a woman's love, and I buy them shit in return. Can that be the relationship, rather than the state says, we're going to take this right out of your paycheck and just give women everything they fucking want? Call me a sexist. That is the nature of these laws. You can suck my dick until you choke on it. That is the nature of these fucking laws. Oh, well, I don't really agree, Louis, with the laws. It's like, well, fuck off then. Fuck off. Fuck off with these disingenuous arguments. Oh, I don't really agree with the law. Well, that's the nature of the fucking beast. That is the nature of what exists, of the status quo. That is what it is. And if you disagree, like, oh, it shouldn't be in the law, well, then how the fuck are you going to compel it? How else could you compel it then? For the public good, for public health. How else can you compel me to pay for this budget? You know, to budget in women getting free fucking everything. How else is it going to happen then? If it isn't involuntary. I want to make it very clear that I'm not attacking Lilith in this, because with her, I don't know to what degree we disagree even. I don't know. I think now, currently, we disagree, but to what end, I don't know currently. I have yet to speak to her on the topic. But with Dev Dude, you and I are operating on two completely different fucking wavelengths here. You know, this is just water and fucking oil over here. Because it's not fair, it's not voluntary, it's utterly unnecessary, you're unwilling to address that matter, and the fact is that this is just another thing. It's just another fucking thing. Dude, I work in an industry where every fucking day of my fucking life, for the last 4 fucking years, I am investigating fraudulent fucking parasites. They're living off other people. Every fucking day, dude. And after enough years of that, of watching my money go to the government, or my money going towards my insurance company, where companies in the state are paying millions, tens of millions of dollars to prove fraud cases to a court system that is utterly biased in favor of the parasites. And yes, are there people that get legitimately injured? Blah, 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 blah. I even have my own personal anecdotes with people that have been legitimately injured and all the rest of it. But the fact is that the Gibbs are out of control, and people like me, you know, the Wojak of me, I'm fucking sick of it.
Come on, give me some money, man. Just give me some money.
No.
How about the change in your pocket? I don't care if it's a dime. Give it to me.
I'm not giving you any money.
You got a cigarette?
I don't smoke.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta give me something.
Yeah, why don't you try to get a job?
I'm sick and fucking tired of paying my pound of flesh in every form of fucking taxation, where some people who are fucking parasites get every fucking benefit. Every institution is trying to help them, is looking out for them, is giving them subsidies and tax credits and every other thing, and they are providing me fucking nothing. I'm getting nothing in this exchange. I'm getting the bill, and that is fucking it. And is that enough? Is that enough? No. It goes on and on, even with the subsidies, even with the tax credits, even with the dispensaries. Is that enough? Is that enough? No. It then goes to full socialism. Full socialism. I have several examples of this, of activists where they're like, yo, it needs to all be free. All be free. Make it all fucking free. And that's socialism. That is socialism. Don't give me this shit about, oh, the public health. No. When it goes as far as they do, where they're just saying that it should be provided by the government in its entirety, fuck it all, provide it all, that is just fucking socialism. All right? These are utterly unnecessary services that the government doesn't need to provide because it's not naturally part of the government. This is naturally in the private sector. It's where it originated from and where it is currently. If it weren't for these activists and all the rest of it, and the fedora tippers, if it weren't for that shit, this would all be in the private sector, and I wouldn't be fucking talking about it. I'd have no comment on women's fucking health products and the rest of it. I'd have no comment. But because I'm paying for it, I have the absolute right to voice an opinion in opposition. I have the gun of the government to the back of my head. I got no choice. I must pay for this. And I believe that entitles me to having a say of whether I should be paying for it or not. And I don't think we should. Even in the case of middle school, high school, fathers, they pay for it. Their fucking family, they're the patriarch, they fucking pay for it. Why the fuck am I having to pay for his daughters? Why? Why is it my fucking responsibility? It isn't. It's not. And the reason why that it's so irritating to me is that it's just another one of those things where there's just no justification. There's just no justification. It's just another case of we, the eternal wage slaves. We pay for it. We get no benefit out of it. It's all to one party, and we can just get fucked. We get paid for it until the day we die, and everyone else can benefit from it. It's not fair. It's not necessary. And the fact is that if it weren't for every person out there fedora tipping, Republicans, Democrats, left, right, everyone is fedora tipping. The only reason why this is going to get passed in any state that's not just the eternal blue state just fucking subsidizing everything. The only reason why it would happen in any red state, and I believe it has, is because of fedora tipping. That's the justification. It is, once again, the state taking the place of a man because of irresponsible women. And I am fucking sick of it. The harder you look at this issue, the clearer it is that this is totally and unequivocally unfair. This is not necessary, and it is in no way from anyone fucking justified. I'm not saying, by the way, that there is no argument that could prove me wrong or could be a counterpoint or anything such as that. But to the point of why should I be paying for this, there's fucking nothing. There is fucking nothing that I've seen. I've read like a dozen articles at this point on the topic, and there is fucking nothing in the way of justification for this shit. Other than, and I'm sorry if I'm the sexist for saying it, it's simply that women most affected. That's it. That's all they fucking offer. It's pathetic. It's a non-argument. It's not a justification that is legitimate. It's not fair. It's not a common good. But I will leave it there. Thanks for listening.